My name is Blair L.M. Kelley. I'm a associate professor of history here at North Carolina State University. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I've been in North Carolina since the mid-90s, so I'm almost a North Carolinian, but probably not quite. So I was thinking I was going to be a lawyer. I enjoyed my history classes. I was always a history major. And I began to look at my own professors and say, wow, they seem to have such an interesting life. They're not spending their time answering someone else's questions for pay. They are really involved in their own inquiries. They are answering their own questions and have this very amazing autonomy in the classroom to shape the class around the books that are interesting to them and the questions that are driving their own research. So that's when I really became interested in the idea of becoming a professor. My research interests in my first book were African Americans who were fighting back against segregation laws as they were being passed. So the social movements that undergirded making change for African Americans in the early 20th century were a big part of my first book. My second book will push me further into the 20th century and African American women's rights and their fight for their inclusion in the job market and their fair treatment as they migrate to the North. So it's a very different kind of look at the African American experience. Because I have a naturally chatty disposition, I like engaging with people. I like engaging about ideas. I like things to be contested and messy and difficult. I enjoy that give and take that teaching can sometimes give you. Teaching is not the easiest thing that I do because sometimes students are taking your class for a whole variety of reasons which are not, I really want to hear from Dr. Kelley. There are sometimes I need to fulfill this particular requirement or have this many hours. And so you sometimes have audiences that aren't that interested in what you're doing. So to draw that student out and to make that student fully engage with the ideas of your course and really learn something is quite exciting. And it's a challenge to really draw them out and get them thinking like a historian and get them working in the real materials of the field and understanding that for themselves. It's an amazing opportunity to do that. So I teach the African American Survey. I also teach the history of the Civil Rights Movement. I teach oral history to graduate students, and sometimes I teach courses that are standalone for graduate students in civil rights or African American history. So I teach basically all levels. We teach a class called the South in Black and White, and it invites students from all the Triangle campuses are all participating this semester. And it's a class that really talks about the history of race in the South in the 20th century and exploring some of the great books of that history and really confronting this history of race with the two professors providing similar perspective, but then I think each of us has a unique approach to the question of this history and this culture over time. So it's been a really amazing opportunity to work across campus lines, which we don't always get an opportunity to do so, and to interact with students and community members who may not have encountered sort of a traditional course that I'm teaching here at State. So it's really a great opportunity to communicate these ideas to a broader audience and to work collaboratively in a way that really enlivens the ideas that we can engage with. Professors aren't supposed to do social media. If you polled most of the people on campus, I assume most of them don't have a Twitter account like I do, and they're not thinking about those things. But I've got drawn into the world of social media because I think it's just another way to let people know what you're doing, what you're thinking, and to use your expertise to talk and speak to contemporary issues. So I joined Twitter, I guess about 2 years ago, and I found it to be a really amazing community of people who are interested in different aspects of things that I'm doing that are available in this sort of Twitterverse, as we call it. And so it's been a lot of fun to share the kind of work I do as a professor, to complicate what people assume professors are like and what we do and how we would treat other people, and to really use it as another kind of classroom to talk about the ideas that I work with every day.